This week on my sewing journey, I'm working on the quilt block of the month, and I chose the album quilt. Now, I've been taught to call this the album quilt block. Many quilt blocks have different names, but this is the one I was taught to call album quilt. And these are great for any event that you want to highlight something, because you can have people sign in a laundry marker the middle square. And you could use it for like a bridal shower, for a graduation, for a family reunion, a retirement party, any kind of occasion. If you want to, because everyone's here for Thanksgiving, have everyone sign it for Thanksgiving, that would be great. So to get started, I made a decision on how big I wanted the center block. Now I chose 4.5, but you don't have to choose that size. Whatever size you choose, what you do, and this is the simplest way, and this is a 4.5 square piece of paper. I folded mine just like this, and that will give you these measurements here for your half square triangles. Just remember to add your seam allowance all the way around the piece of paper when you trace it, which came out to be a 2.5 square for this. So then you're going to choose the colors that you want, the 4 little colors that you want around your block. I chose pink. And then you're going to choose your 4 big 4.5 squares. So this is going to be 4.5 square, this is 4.5, this 4.5, and this is 4.5 because it matches this. Next, you're going to choose the outer little color, and that's where your many 2.5 inch squares come into play. So this is a 2.5 inch square. This is a 2.5 inch square, and these half square triangles measure down to 2.5 inch square. So you're going to do your first block, which would be your half square triangles with your background color, whatever color you choose for your background color. It does not necessarily have to be white. You could have went with blue, gray, or any muted color, solid muted color. And then you make your half square triangles. And then you're going to take your half square color that matches the top of your triangle and put those two together and just sew straight down. Then you're going to take your next half square triangle with the pink color here, or whatever color you chose, and sew straight down, and then you'll sew right straight across, and that's the first block done. And then next you would put it with your 4.5 square, and then on this one you're going to do the same thing you did here, but in the opposite direction. I would recommend having a chart for this, and that way you know which way these half square triangles go. Now on the bottom you'll do the same thing. I haven't squared up my block yet, but you're going to put your pink color up towards this way. So it's the same as this, but just in different positions. And you see what I mean by those half square triangles being in different positions. The middle row is just the 4.5 with the background color 4.5 and the 4.5. And that you just sew together, and then you'll sew it to this row, which is the same as this, but pretty much the half square triangles are going in a different spot. All in all, it's a very simple block. I hope you like this video and like this idea. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing, and happy sewing.